Hi, this is Larry with ManCave Mayhem. Today I'm going to do a how-to video on a coolant change on the Suzuki Burgman 650. Basically, they say in the owner's manual that you should change your coolant every, I think it's 7,500 miles, and then I think again at 14,500 miles you're supposed to change it. Unless you use the super long life coolant, then they say it's at every 14,500 you change the coolant. I bought some super long life coolant. You see, you can also use regular automotive coolant that is compatible with aluminum radiators, which I think would be probably most of them. What you need for this job, it's not a lot. I've already removed the front, they call it the front leg shield, and basically what it is it's two pull tabs. Let me see if I can get you in the light here and see. Okay, so it's this pull tab here. You just pop it, and this one right here, and then there's a screw here and a screw here, and that goes, let me see if I can get some light on this so you guys can see what's going on. That covers the radiator down here, which is directly behind the front wheel. You can see the radiator there. There's the coolant bottle, the overflow bottle. As you can see, my overflow bottle's low because I had a little issue with a fan fuse blowing. But that's beside the point. So what we have here, there's the radiator. You can access the cap from the top here. You can see the cap right there. And then this lower screw looks like a 10mm screw. That's how you drain the radiator right there. So we're gonna go ahead and get the radiator drained, and we'll go from there. All right, so we got an appropriate container to drain the radiator fluid into. Again, it is a 10mm. I have a 10mm socket, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to try and do this with by holding that came loose pretty easily. And you're just going to pull the drain plug. You also want to remove the radiator cap. I haven't done that as of yet, but I will do that. That's really draining. So you loosen the cap and the fluid will start coming out pretty quickly. So you get the fluid drained, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so now I've got the coolant drained. I did make a mess, but you want to make sure you catch it all in the container, not like I did. And so we've got the super long life coolant. Mine is my Burgman 650 is 2012. It takes a super long life coolant, but you can also use the green coolant in it. You just gotta make sure you drain it all out. I'm obviously gonna run the super long life coolant. It's blue coolant. When you pull the radiator cap off, you want to check it and make sure there isn't any issues with the rubber gasket. Usually they're in pretty good shape, but if there's cracks or anything in the gasket, the two gaskets that are on there, you'll want to replace that radiator cap as well. Mine's in good shape, so I'm going to go ahead and reuse it. Now that it's drained, the coolant's drained, you're going to want to make sure. I don't have any coolant in the overflow bottle, but if you did, you'd want to get that out of there too, and you could siphon that out. So now we're going to go to the next step of the process, and we're going to put the screw back in and start adding coolant to it. This is a real simple procedure, and it's something that you guys can do at home. It's not a big deal, and then you don't have to deal with the dealerships taking your money. It's pretty simple. I spent the extra money on the coolant, but like I said, you can use any coolant that, at least this is what the manual says, you can use any coolant that's compatible with aluminum radiators, which I believe is probably most all coolants nowadays. But anyhow, we'll get to filling this thing up and get back with you. So what I'm doing right now is they want you to remove, at least in the shop manual, they say to remove the whole front box. They want you to remove this box and everything to get to everything. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm just running a hose or a tube into the radiator just to make it a little easier to get to, and I put a funnel on the end of it, and I'm just going to put the coolant in that way. Whether this is the right way or not, I don't know, but I think it'll be a lot easier than trying to pull all the plastics off to put coolant in the stupid bike. So I'm doing it this way. Yay or nay on it. You guys give me an idea what you think, but I think that's probably just going to be an easier way to do it. And you know, like I said, it seems like I got most of all the coolant out of the bike. If I didn't, oh well. I'm replacing the majority of it. So we'll go from there. I'm gonna start filling it up and we'll see how it works. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this started. I got the coolant right here. We're gonna try this funnel method. Probably gonna make a mess, but I'm not that worried about it because messes clean up. So I'm gonna make sure that that's inside the radiator. It looks like it is. And we're gonna give her a pour. See what happens. I have to. And there she goes. How much it takes to get in there. Put some more in. That's all. So we're gonna fill it up. It looks like it's gonna work, and we'll go from there. Bye-bye. All right, so now I got the cap on. We're gonna come around to the overflow bottle, take the center cover off. It's one screw, and then you just kind of got to pop the cover off and work it out, shimmy it out. This is the overflow bottle. You can see from the front of it, as I said before, that mine's empty. And so you want to fill that up, at least to, well, I usually fill mine up all the way right to there, the top line. And it says in the book that you're supposed to, kind of move the bike on the stand to kind of settle it in and get all the air bubbles out, which you can do. Kind of move around on the center stand, kind of tilt it side to side. It's a heavy bike, so don't tip it over. And but what I'm probably going to do, I'll probably do that a little bit, but what I'll probably do is just kind of keep an eye on the water bottle, the overflow bottle. I'll start it, run it, bring it up to temperature, and then I'll let it cool back down, and then I'll check the overflow bottle again. If it needs more coolant, I'll fill the overflow bottle up. And that's it. It's pretty simple. A simple procedure. It'll save you a little money if you do it yourself. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Like, share, subscribe. And remember, I'm just a man in a cave causing mayhem. Thanks.